Good day, viewer. Thanks for joining us on another edition of the program, Corpus Forum on NBS TV. My name is Linus Ego. It's a special edition of the program, and we're glad to have you join us today. Permits me to wish our Muslim brothers and sisters a happy Ramadan. Fasting is a time of preparation, and we pray that the holy month becomes a successful one to all the believers. So today on the program is going to be an interesting one once again, and you know, Corpus Forum is that engaging program where we try as much as possible to bring you lots of engaging discussions to help you understand what the NYSC is doing and other important issues in the society. Today on the program we have the CDS segment, the inspirational segment, and the sports segment. Without wasting time, we'll go straight into the first segment of the program for today, which is the CDS segment.
Thank you, Linus. Good day, viewer. Welcome to another CDS segment. I am Akintade Oluwatosin, your host for today. For the benefit of those joining us for the first time, CDS is an acronym for Community Development Service. This is the third phase on the National Youth Service Corps program, where corps members are distributed to various CDS groups to plan and execute projects that will be beneficial to the community. So without further ado, I have with me here the president and the treasurer of Anti-HIV/AIDS Fighters CDS. You're welcome, sir. Mr. Musa and Mrs. Josina. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Mr. President, I'll start with you. So, can you tell us what Anti-HIV/AIDS Fighters Group as a CDS means? What does it comply? What does it mean? Really means?
Yeah. When we say anti-HIV, it's CDS. It's a community development service group being created by the NYSC to create awareness, sensitization about the lethal disease, HIV. That's the immune disorder that is being caused by the virus. The CDS group is created mainly to sensitize people, tell them how is the disease, what is it all about, how is it being contacted, how can you prevent it, and how can you treat it or get rid of it after being contacted. This is the primary aim of this group as a CDS group.
Okay, your main objective.
Yeah.
Okay. Ms. Justina, can you tell us the misconceptions we all have as people, we all have about HIV/AIDS?
Okay. We have various misconceptions about HIV and AIDS, and the first one is HIV is a death sentence. Many people think when they are infected with this HIV is a death sentence. No, it is not a death sentence, because there is advance in treatment of HIV and AIDS. So once you are taking your drugs and you stick to it, it will reduce the viral load of this HIV, and which will make you live healthy and longer than people that are not infected with this HIV/AIDS. And also, another misconception people have is HIV can be transferred through organ kissing.
Exactly.
So,
I also once had that misconception one time like that.
Okay. The thing there is that we have, for the kissing parts, it has lower risk. So you understand? Because when you kiss somebody, if the person that you kiss have bruises or sore or bleeding gum, so it's likely you contact that disease. But HIV cannot be transferred through saliva, and through organ, it can be transferred through that. So that's another misconception people have. Another one is that you can detect someone infected with HIV/AIDS mere looking at them. It is very wrong. You can't detect them just by looking at them. So it can be detected through that, because someone that has HIV/AIDS once they are taking their drugs, they tend to look healthy and you won't be able to know. So that's the misconception. And also the last one that people talk about, they say HIV is the same thing as AIDS. It is very wrong. It is not the same thing as AIDS.
So
HIV, they are different.
Wow. Can you elaborate on the differences?
Okay. When someone is infected with HIV, it's so they tell them, they refer them to hospital in order to detect their viral load. So if their viral load is not much, so that means they still have more chances to be able to suppress that virus, which will not progress to AIDS level.
That means HIV is lower than AIDS. That means AIDS
yes,
is the highest.
Yes, wow. Yes, because that's why someone infected with this HIV, they try to make sure they administer drug to them, so it will progress to the next level, which is AIDS. Okay. So I think I'll shed more light.
That's really an enlightenment, even from my own part. So can you share some success stories, some campaigns that you've successfully done in your CDS? Maybe you went out to sensitize the society, the community about the importance of not contacting HIV.
Yeah, actually, about sensitization, we have done a lot. For example, on the 1st of December last year, which is a World AIDS Day, we went out sensitizing people, telling them more about HIV, how is it contacted, how is it prevented, right from Federal Ministry of Health down to NASACA, that's Nasarawa AIDS Control Agency in Shandam Road. So we followed step by step, street by street. We sensitize people, tell them more about it. And moreover, aside that, we pick some days, like specific days, we go out to market.
Is it in the month? Like a day in a month?
No, not,
just
not each month, but we specify it as our quarterly sensitization. We do it per quarter. So we go to market, schools, and orphanage places like hospitals, like gatherings that we know it entails people from different backgrounds, people with different experience, people with different exposure. We go there, tell them all about HIV, how is it contacted, how is it prevented, especially the stigmatization part, where people tend to, like my colleague said, where people tend to just ignore or send away people that are having such a disease.
So where the community begins to accept what you have for them?
Usually, they used to cooperate, especially when we tell them that this is not a death sentence. It is just like a way of, like a new experience in life, but it's not something that will make you deprive yourself of anything that a healthier person can do. Because some HIV infected people live longer than those that are not even contacted with the disease. Depends on how you treat yourself, how you take care of the disease. So we've engaged ourselves in so many outings, which even now we are having another plan, which is next week, Wednesday. We are going out to Lafia Modern Market again to sensitize people on the same HIV and AIDS. So we have done a lot of that, and we are still doing that to see that people are enlightened and educated about HIV and AIDS, so as to prevent and reduce the risk of the spread of the disease.
Thank you very much. Thank you for enlightening us. All right, Viva, this is where we come to the end of the CDS segment for today. I remain your host, Akintade Oluwatosin, and I'm very sure you've been able to pick one or two things from what we've told you today. So do well to enjoy the remaining of the segment. Thank you very much. Over to you, Linus.
Thank you very much, Oluwatosin Akintade. That was an engaging discussion, and we're glad to see that the HIV and AIDS CDS are doing their best to curb the spread of the disease in Nasarawa State. And we pray and hope that they continue to do their best so that all the populace in Nasarawa State and beyond will learn more on how to prevent the spread of the disease. We hope to see you in the studio once again. Thank you very much. Moving straight up, we go into the next segment, which is the inspirational segment.
Good day, beautiful people of Nasarawa State. Welcome to inspirational segment today. My name is Kwazamimi Do, and I'm here with, please introduce yourself.
My name is Alade Elizabeth.
Welcome, ma'am.
Welcome.
On our today's discussion, we'll be talking about physical disability. How does physical disability affect people? Is there an outcome of physical disability? Is there a reason people should be down or lock themselves out because of their physical disability? Can they do something with their lives? That is actually what we'll be discussing today. It's more like a discussion other than a host and a guest conversation. So today we'll be talking about physical disability. So please, ma'am, do you understand, is there anything you have to tell us about physical disability?
Yeah, thank you so much, Mimido. I would love to start this way. Physical disability, to some people means, okay, when one is actually challenged in one area or the other, maybe
physically, yes.
Like you can see, like every other people can see. You can walk around like every other people can use their leg.
Okay.
I feel like that's a restriction.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You're doing one or two things. Yeah, it might be true. But actually, that does not mean the end of the world.
Yes.
Or the end of your world.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, there are a lot of people that have found themselves in this unfortunate, thing we're talking about. But we've seen them in the world doing massive, things. They're actually shaking the world.
Yes, I can tell.
Bringing substance out of their situation. So physical disability might actually be a challenge in the sense of it, but it's actually not the end of life.
Yes,
we actually can look into it.
Very good. Well, I remember a public speaker, Mrs. Muniban Mazari said, people that are physically disabled are not really physically disabled, but they are just differently able. That is what she defined it. She said, we are not physically disabled. I don't see myself physically disabled. I feel myself differently able. And she's a very strong woman that the world look up to. She's a motivational speaker. And when she talks, the world listens. People like Vic, he's a speaker as well. Yeah. He goes out, he was someone that was born without legs, without hands, and he's somebody that is doing wonders in the world out there. So when we talk about physically disabled people, we look out to the world, and a lot of people feel challenged. They feel challenged because they are physically disabled. They are ashamed of themselves. They lock themselves in the house, and they are not proud of coming out. That leaves some of them on the street begging instead of trying to do something for themselves,
Actually, number one thing is that they're kind of separated from people. There's this discrimination against them that they are not enough. You're not like me. So even like the first thing I see in you is that probably you can even contaminate me with what is doing you.
Yes,
yes. Like, I don't want
that feeling. It limits people a lot.
The first thing is that they don't socialize with others. That's a great challenge. You understand? So that kills their self-esteem. It kills a lot about them. So this is a like advice or a call or probably a sensitization to whoever might find him or herself in this situation.
Yes.
That even though the world may be seeing you as a different person, don't see yourself like that. Instead, like you said, you might be physically disabled, like they say, but there is something special about that person.
Yes.
There's something that you have that they don't have. Yeah, physically, I have my legs, you don't have your legs. There are things you can do without the legs.
Yes.
And by the time you come out and do it, things that even people with legs are not doing, then you wow them. So it's about, number one thing I would say is about self-discovery. Discover something that you have that it seems, okay, these people have what I don't have. Yes, there's something also that you have that others don't have.
Okay.
So the challenge is people might not want to associate with you, but don't let that bother.
You're still okay. You're still good. You're fine.
Because if your mind is working, then everything can work.
Yes.
Yes.
And you're physically disabled does not limit you from doing some things. I mean, it does not stop you. It can only limit you a little, because if you don't have legs, then you definitely cannot run on your own. But then people that doesn't have legs can also do a lot of things. We have shoemakers. We have bead makers. There's creativity in the world, you know. So there are so many things that these people that do not have legs can actually do. So it's a call that they should not be scared. They should not fear that they cannot do it, and then limit themselves into their lockers and just lock themselves out of the world.
Yes.
And also to encourage the world that these people can actually be great people in the society. They can actually do something. They can impact in our society. So there's no need to be laughing at them, or that we should encourage them. We should encourage them, not laughing at them, you know. So please, talking about these people, I think there is also something the government needs to do. Like in Nasarawa State, I can see that they are doing very well. When I heard about special school, you know, special school Lafia, when I went to that place, I saw a lot of people that are physically disabled. But you know what? They have trade. They have something that they are doing in their hands, and that is very awesome. There was a time I stepped out and then I found somebody at the filling station, a grown man begging. I quickly imagined him being my father, you know. And this was somebody, he doesn't have legs, he was walking on crutches, but I imagine him being my father. Imagine your own father in that situation, and then he's left in the street. These people, we can actually give them something. They can sit down and do something and make money. They don't really need to be in the street begging. They can actually do something. So this is a wake-up call for everybody watching us today. Please, if there is somebody in your area that is physically disabled, do not laugh at them, but encourage them. Encourage them and call them out. Help them in a way you can. Do not let them feel limited, that they cannot do it or they are not worth it. This is where we call it a wrap for today under inspirational segment. I still remain Kwaza Mimido and
Elizabeth Aladdin.
Thank you very much for watching. Over to you, Linus.
Thank you very much, Mimido. That was an engaging discussion. You know, disability is something so many people feel will limit their life, and we are grateful that you've been able to explain so many things on the program today, discussing how people with disability can actually continue to live their life and become productive. Once again, thank you very much, Mimido, and thanks to the guests that came through today. Moving on, we'll move into the last segment of the program for today, which is the sports segment. I will now join the ever-engaging Godwin Okoye.
Thank you, Linus. Good day, viewer. Welcome to another exciting moment on the sports segment. My name is Godwin Okoye, in the studio with Uwa Jerry. Great to have you on the show, Jerry.
It's my pleasure to always be here.
All right. So today on the show, we'll be looking at the stories that, the stories that trended during the course of the week. And it's no longer news that Ose Pesero and Nigeria Football Federation, they've parted ways. The question now is, who would replace him, yes, as the gaffer of the Super Eagles? So, Jerry, let's get talking. Are you of the opinion that we should go for another foreign tactician, or we should just look inwards, employ the likes of Finidi George, Daniel Ogumodede, or I guess Augustine Eguavon? Let me get your take.
All right, thank you very much for that question. You know, for me, I will be of the opinion that since in every other sector, Nigeria as a country, we are agitating that we should be patronizing our own products. So at this point, I will not say it's advisable that Nigeria should go for a foreign coach, in as much as how good they may be. It's advisable that we'll get our own indigenous coach here in our country, Nigeria.
Oh, you spoke about indigenous coaches. I'm worried about the. I don't know if they are tactically sound, because the last time we had Augustine Eguavon, he took us to the AFCON, but when it got to the crucial stage, he lacked the technical abilities, and we lost to Tunisia. So, is that not some sort of discouragement as far as that is concerned, Jerry?
You know, for me, everybody believes in what he or she wants at a particular point in time. Our Nigerian coaches, I think, once they are given the job, I think the time that they need is not always available. So we believe so much that, okay, foreign coaches are doing so well in their countries, or maybe they handle one or two. Let's not shy away from the fact that maybe some of these persons, because how their country has been well developed, they are knowledgeable about some certain things. That's how they manage to come out to manage a particular thing very, very well, the way we see them do.
Yeah.
But in our country, Nigeria, if we can get an indigenous coach, maybe take them to one of these schools abroad, and then let them expose them to some of the technicalities that are involved, or maybe what it takes to be a good coach, I believe we can have them do very well. Because I can remember very well when Egypt were dominating African Cup of Nations. They won it back to back some years back. The players they had at this particular point in time was indigenous players. We believe they did not hire other players who were playing in foreign clubs. So I believe coming to the position of a coach, if we can find a way to get our own here in Nigeria and maybe take them to some schools that we can make them imbibe in them that culture of foreign coaches, so that they can have it very well in our players, and they make Nigeria what we want it to be. I think that will not be out of place.
All right, let me put you on the spot right now. If you had to be the president of NFF, would you go for Sunday Olise or Samson Siasia?
Both of them have tested the coaching career before, and personally for me, like you asked, if I'm the president of NFF, I think I will go for Samson Siasia, because he has coached some things for quite a number of years. And then talking about experience, he has that experience more than Sunday Olise when we talk of coaching career. So personally, I will go for Sunday Olise.
All right then. Jerry says he's going for Samson Siasia. All right then. During the course of the week, the NFF released a 26 squad man list that would trade tackles against Ghana and Mali. So Jerry, we saw the list that went viral during the course of the week. I'm just going to run through the list just so you can react to it. Let's start with the goalkeepers. Stanley Nwabali, Francis Uzoho, Ojo Oloronike. Those are the 3 goalkeepers invited by the NFF. Then the defenders, we have Calvin Bassi, Jamilu Collins, Bruno Oyemachi, Semi Ajayi, Kenneth Omeruo, Chidozie Awaziem, Gabriel Osho, Bright Osai, Tyrone Obey, Benjamin Tamiru. Yes, so for the midfield, we have Alex Iwobi, Frank Onyeka, Wilfred Ndidi, Alassane Yusuf, Raphael Onyedika. Then for the wingers, we have Moses Simon, Nathan Taylor, Fisayo Dele Bashiru, Ademola Lukman. Up front, we have Sadiq Umar, Victor Osimhen, Kelechi Iheanacho, Taiwo Awoni, and lastly, Cyril Desas. Let me get your reaction. What do you make of the list?
Yeah, by the time you were running through the list of players invited to the squad, when you get to the midfield, I was excited when I heard you mention Wilfred Ndidi. Yeah. Wilfred Ndidi was a tactical player that personally I love watching. During his reign with, though currently he's still playing with Leicester City, but during the Leicester's reign, when they clinched the champions, the
English
Premier League title, Wilfred Ndidi played very, very well in the midfield. So for me, I love to see him play in that position. And just like we have it in the last concluded Nations Cup, Alex Iwobi received a kind of insult from Nigerians because of how he was playing. I thought it was because he was brought back to the midfield to play the role that actually he was not playing. That's why we couldn't see the best out of him during the tournament. But if it happens that we have Wilfred Ndidi in that position, I think it would have been better than what we saw Alex Iwobi display during the Nations Cup.
Absolutely.
So talking about the forward, I was also excited when I heard Taiwo Awoni. Taiwo is playing very, very well with Nottingham Forest. Yeah. He's a kind of striker that you cannot mess with the ball when you are defending. So he's a very, very good striker that personally I would love him to watch, to play for Nigeria Super
Absolutely.
Eagles.
Let's talk about the newly invited players. We have Benjamin Tamino, Siu, Disas, Gabriel Osho, Nathan Taylor, and Fisayo Dele Bashir. These are the newly invited players. Do you think they've got what it takes to end the sport in the Super Eagles starting lineup?
You know, some of these players you have mentioned, some of them played in an invisible leagues that some of us are not opportune to watch them play.
Yeah.
But coming to think of maybe the analysis that maybe the coach has, that maybe they deserve the calling into the Nigerian Super Eagles squad, maybe it could be different from what maybe I could say. But because some of them have not actually watched them play. But I think for anybody who has received a call from the coach to come and play for any level in football, I think the person who is deserving of the position. But what happens sometimes is that maybe what you see somebody play in other clubs, maybe the kind of the cycle of players that person has in his club outside, the people are not available in the club he is coming to, or maybe in the team he's coming to play. So at times we don't see the best out of them as we see them play in other clubs.
Absolutely.
But I think they are deserving. That's what the coach calls.
That's right, that's right. All right, then we wish them all the best. We hope the next time we convene, we'll have a new coach. And that's all we have for you on the sports segment. Thank you very much for tuning in. My name is Godin Okoye. I've done this alongside Uwa Jerry. Bye for now. Back to you, Linus.
Thank you very much, Godwin. That was a wonderful one. You know, one big problem that we've had in Nigeria for the past couple of years is getting a good coach for the Super Eagles. Now, people have been saying Nigeria should try local coaches, but it's not our decision to make anyway. But we pray and hope that whatever decision they make at the NFF becomes the best decision for the Super Eagles. The last outing at the African Cup of Nations was an outing to be proud of, despite we're not able to come home with the gold medal. But we hope that when the decision is made for the permanent coach of the Super Eagles, we have a wonderful coach that will lead the Eagles to greater glory. Once again, thank you very much, Godwin and Jerry, for coming to the studio for today. So that's where we'll be calling it a wrap on the program for today. And it's safe to announce that today will mark the last day I will be anchoring the program as a core member. That's due to the announcement by NYSC that my batch will be passing out in a couple of weeks. So as from next week, you'll be having a new anchor. So it's safe to say goodbye and see you at the other side where we'll be doing greater things. So once again, my name is Linus Ego. Bye-bye.